Hello! Hello. It is Thursday. It's Thursday. I may sound a little bit out of breath, but I'll explain in a second. But hello! Hello, Jade. Hello, Roxas. Hello. Welcome in. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. The reason I'm out of breath is, I have neglected a chore for way too long, and it's still not completely done. But trash needed to be taken out pretty bad. We had a couple bags of full bags of things that needed to be taken out for a while. I'm like, I need to get this done, so I went ahead and did that. So it's not completely done because there are two very full trash cans. But I can take care of that later. Or I can have my child do it, one or the other. I don't know. It's fine. But hello! Hello, everyone. We're gonna be Yoshi today. Sure, we'll have Wario here. All on hard. As the stream title states, we're gonna go to Mario's Rainbow Castle today. Let's go, streak! Fitty turns. Let's go, let's rock and roll. How is everyone doing today? I'm doing pretty good. My day started off pretty good. Because when I dropped off Allie at school this morning, they were giving out donuts to the parrots. They were giving out free donuts to the parrots, and I'm like, oh my god, you didn't do this at all last year! And, I mean, a free donut will make anyone's day, honestly. So, I got a free donut this morning. I was excited. And, I ate the entire thing on my drive home. And it's not even that far! It's not even that far! To Allie's school where I live right now, so, yeah, I ate it pretty quickly. I want a donut? Well, come over here. Well, have a kid, go to a school that occasionally gives out free donuts in the morning and go take your kid to school. Problem solved. But hello, Blue. Hello. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. So yeah, I got a free donut this morning. And I don't remember how long ago it was that I talked about it, but I feel like somewhat recently, within like the last like 6 months or so, I talked about how last school year, oh shoot, I gotta do the thing. How last school year, they didn't even do it at all. Which I'm like, oh my god, because I really liked it when they did that. They didn't do it at all last year, and then, so when I took Allie to school, I parked, and then I was right behind another car that had just got there, so we got there at the same time. And these two gals start walking, and I immediately recognize. Cause they do like a donut, and like there's like a little like newspaper pamphlet thingy highlighting some specific kids. And it's an 18 under 18. Here's 18 children. You know, it's like, you know, outstanding qualities of these exemplary students. And I'm like, that's kind of a neat thing. And then you get a free donut with it. I'm like, hell yeah. I'll take the donut. I'm so excited. I'm super excited for the donut. But yeah, I got a donut. I'm working on the first part. Give me a few. No, like, there's no rush on anything. Because, like, I understand the pressures of having kids. I say as I had one really young and didn't have my second till 6 years later. Oh, I'm in charge. Oh, shit. That's a bad. Don't put me in charge. Mess. I'm a mess. I'm a mess in distress, but we're still the best. Dress fearless, say yes. We don't dress to impress. And don't put me in charge of anything. Okay. I think it's this one again. I think it's that one. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll take the ugly one. No, I'll take the ugly one. Like, you take the ugly one. No, you take the ugly one. I'll take the ugly one. Which one's the ugly one? Brownie points if you know what movie that's from. Because I will give you all of the brownie points in the world. If you know what movie that's from. Hello, DA. Hello. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. You had donut earlier? What kind of donut was it? Because I just had, you know, your standard glazed donut, and it's like you honestly, literally cannot go wrong with a standard glazed donut. You cannot go wrong. So they were just giving out glazed donuts. And also, if you're like giving out donuts for free, I feel like a glazed donut is probably a very good go-to because you can't go wrong. You gotta rush for the donut. You gotta wait. The donut will be worth it. It'll be worth it in time. Roxanne's Wood came from eBay super early. Ooh, nice. Nice. It's really awesome whenever you get something in the mail a lot earlier than you expect it. I say as I'm expecting a package today. Not for me, it's for my husband. He ordered something 2 days ago? 2 days ago. Yeah, it was 2 days ago. Because I remember streaming, and he was over my shoulder, and because I muted to talk to him for a couple seconds. And was essentially, you know, he found something that I need. I'm like, yes, get it, please. You need this thing for the love of God. So yeah, and he said it should be in the mail today. He texted me earlier. So, dude, Mario's being a thug. He is not the doctor of thugonomics. I'm doing great, awesome. I am also doing pretty good. I mean, I got a free donut today. But yeah, I do understand, like, the worries and the pressure of, and the pressure of, like, having a kid. Because, like, women get it so bad. And my pasta's pretty good right now. But yeah, women get it so bad. And it's like, it's always the women that get shit like this. It's like, oh, when you having kids? When are you having kids? When And it's like, dude. Because, well, I had my oldest when I was 19. Because, like, I had Allie in June, and then, like, a month later in July, I turned 20. So I was relatively young when I had my oldest daughter. And then went almost 6 years until I had the second one. So throughout, like, even when Allie was about, like, 2, maybe, you know, the questions started. You know, everyone in the chatter started. It's like, when you have another one? When you have another one? She needs a sibling. She needs a sibling. You know, she'd be a great big sister. She's got to be a great big sister. There. It's like, oh, well, he's gonna be a good big sister, and she was like 2. It's like, dude, don't rush it. You know, like, it's that kind of pressure. You know, that, like, a lot of women get. Like, even if they want to have kids, don't want to have kids, are actively trying and they're struggling with infertility, or, you know, it's just a lot of pressure that people love to put on women, and it's like, you don't need to be doing this, you know, like, take your time. You know, it's one of those, I've learned it'll happen when it happens, because here's the thing, I was on birth control, the implant in the arm, which is what I have now. I did that right after Allie was born, and it's good for 3 years. I'm like, okay, 3 years, that's a good gap for a sibling. You know, like, not too far apart, you know, not too close together, because, God, I do not want 2 under 2. Like, absolutely the fuck not 2 under 2. Like, you know, like, some ladies can handle it. I cannot. 2 under 2 would be a nightmare, unless the only exception to that is twins. But, like 2 under 2, like, Irish twins, absolutely not. Did we really have to zoom in on Mario's crotch there? What? Damn. You know what? Maybe it was just meant to be. I don't know. No one gets any money. But anyway, yeah, the pressures are like always there for like no reason on women, whether having kids or not. So yeah, I, got the birth control out after the 3 years, and I chose not to replace it because, like, yeah, it's been 3 years. We can try for another one. Well, 3 whole years after that of no birth control whatsoever, it's honestly really crazy that we went 3 whole fucking years without any kind of birth control whatsoever, and then we had a kid. Because it's one of those, a lot of life things happened. A lot of life things were going on. And then kind of once the proverbial burden was released, the shackles were released in my life, that was when we got pregnant again. So, it's one of those, like, as shitty as an excuse as it sounds, it'll happen when it happens. And it's one of those, I was so stressed and worried about it, like a lot of life things, and I was like, I was like religiously checking every month. If I had like a period tracker and everything. For one, it's like my periods were so inconsistent anyway, that getting a period tracker made the most sense. Because it's like, mine would usually run like every 30 days. Like about every 30 days. Oh no. Oh, no! Shit. Come back here. No, you are gonna give me that back. Thank you. What? Why? No! Yeah, I had a period tracker and everything. And I kept track of like everything because like mine was always so inconsistent. It was like about 30 or so days. Sometimes it'd be 28, sometimes it'd be like 21. That's happened before. But like everything was like so inconsistent. And and it's like I would just like anytime I was like a day over what the tracker told me my period would start, I would be freaking out and taking a bunch of pregnancy tests and everything. And it's like, that kind of stress was not good on me. So after a while, I just kind of, and also like my dad had died and there was a lot of stress there. And then my dad had died. Someone who I thought was a friend really hurt me with their response when I told them my dad had died. And later it's like, and so I wrote up this big long message to this person, kind of explaining like, hey, I don't really think, we could be friends anymore. I've noticed some patterns. I've been really hurt by your actions in the past, and I know I'm not a saint and everything. I know I've hurt you too, but it's just I don't think this friendship could work out anymore. And I wrote like a big long paragraph, and this person, when I sent it to him, this person had just replied, grabbing one tiny little point from a sentence in like the first half of this big long paragraph and argued that point. And it's like, you really didn't read anything I wrote, did you? And that was like the nail in the coffin. And it's like, you know what? Like, sorry for being like completely honest. Because I'd been honest with you for a while. Or like I was just being honest, and then they had blocked me. And then like, next thing I know, it's like, you know what? I don't need that. I didn't need that baggage of like worrying about everyone else. I need to like, put me first. And then next thing you know, boom, I'm preggers. Found out the day before my birthday, because it was one of those, I think I like took a test just for funsies. Because I'm like, I wonder. Just like a curiosity thing. It's like, I wonder. And then, sure enough, I was pregnant. Alright, oh shit, I goofed. I'm bad at those ones. Oh my god. What? Why aren't I jumping on them? My god. Anyway. So, sometimes your internal burdens that you don't think would be, you know, weighing you down, once you release those, everything will just kind of fall naturally into place. And then it's one of those where, you know, me being, the dependent person that I was back then as well, there was points in time where I missed them because I had caught wind that, she had also gotten pregnant, like a few months later. So we were pregnant at the same time. And, it was one of those, we kind of talked things out later, but it still didn't quite feel right. But now it's like, I don't really talk to her at all. It's one of those, I have heard this person say that, like, I hate being friends with girls. They're always drama. And it's like, stepping away from her and knowing how her life is going and knowing how my life is going in comparison, she was the drama, not the other girls. So it's one of those, if you're in a situation where it's like, oh my god, every single girl I meet is drama, maybe you're the problem. Now, there are times where, it could genuinely be you just had bad luck with friends. You attract those kinds of people. But it's one of those kind of, you know, take a look and then, you know, do some soul searching. And it's one of those, it's kind of the same situation still. It's like, how do I attract these kinds of people? How do I fix this, you know? And then when it's like, oh my god, every girl is drama and you're the drama, you really need self-reflection there. But yeah, it's just one of those things, you know? It's like my dad had died, she was a shitty friend to me. And then, you know, kind of let that go, wrote it out, and then, hey, Riley exists now. And then she tried to kill me. It's one of those where she was the kind of person who always made her problems the forefront of everything. Hold on, let me finish this thought after. What? That's the second time in a row I've lost that. Why? I don't understand. My balloon went off. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna stress. I'm not gonna worry about it. Whatever. It's 20 cool. It's big balloon. Anywho, yeah, this friend has said some pretty rough things to me. And it's like, again, I'm no saint. I have, some of my actions have definitely hurt her, and you know, I recognize that. You know, later on I was upfront and I apologized for everything, but it's one of those, and it's like, I understand if, like, hurt carries in your heart so much that you still, like, you can't forgive, you know? But it's one of those, it was a situation where, like, I wasn't, like, completely the one responsible, you know? And then, she blamed, what I got was she blamed me for everything and not, like, didn't spread the blame at all. It's one of those, but, like, it felt like she just held a grudge against me and only me. Maybe for other hidden reasons that I probably could pinpoint, but anywho, I do remember when I first told her my dad had died, because it was like the next day, and or like a couple days later or something, and now keep in mind, this is 2020. This is 2020, like April of 2020. So this is kind of like the height of COVID, the height of lockdowns and everything, you know. So, yeah, and I was just like, you know, making phone calls, like, you know, telling my friends, because my friends had met my dad before. And I was telling them, like, yeah, there was a car wreck in the area, and my dad had died. And I remember the first words out of her mouth were, I would give you a hug, but my house is under lockdown because my husband's name, came into contact with some people with COVID, and I've been worrying about disinfecting. And then she just trailed off into her own issues. And it's like, bitch, my dad just died. What do you mean you're going straight into complaining about your own problems? It's like, dude. And it's like one of those, like, sometimes it is kind of awkward when someone, like, is like, hey, you know, I had a death in the family. You know, sometimes it is a little bit awkward. But it's like, one thing to not do is just jump straight into your current issues that have no relation to what was said to you. Like, if someone came to me and told me their dad died, I'd be like, man, my heart goes out to you. I understand the feeling, you know. Like, my heart goes out to you, you know, can I, you know, anything I could do for you, you know, type things, you know. So it's like, or even like an are you okay? Because, here's the key difference. When I told my friend my dad had died, you know, she said, I would give you a hug, but my house is under lockdown because of COVID. And then when my brother gave me the initial phone call, the very first thing out of my mouth, like, okay, it took a second to process what he had said, because he told me about that there was a wreck and dad was in it and he didn't make it. There was kind of an initial, like, processing moment, so I was quiet for a few seconds. And then, like, one of the first things I said to my brother was, are you okay? So, honestly, I think that really puts it into perspective of how we process things and how our brains work. Because I was worried, you know, about my siblings, you know. And then after that, I was making a bunch of phone calls. But anyway, it was like, yeah, my first thought was like, are you okay? And then my friend was like, my house is under lockdown. I'm stressed right now. I would do this, but... And it just came off as so pretentious. And it hurt. Like, stuff like that absolutely hurts, even if they don't think it does, because their brain is so wired to, like, this is normal for me. But it's like, I feel like if someone else did it to them, they wouldn't like it very much. So it's just, again, if you're around people that give off this self-centered vibe, don't fuck with it. Don't, if you pick up on it, just kind of slowly distance yourself, or, you know, find ways to help, you know, you get your closure you need. So, yeah. So, don't really associate with, like, the self-centered. So, like, I've, you know, again, I'm 30 years old. And it's like, I've learned a lot of things over the years. And it's like, I'm still learning things. It's like, again, I'm 30 years old, and this is, like, the first time I've ever had, like, any kind of, semblance of a healthy friendship. Honestly saying. So, dude. Wario. Back off. Wario, back off. Haha, mine. Dang. Oh, well, it's fine. So, yeah, hopefully everyone doesn't have to suffer the same thing I did in terms of, like, my lessons. So yeah, it's like, again, this is, like, the first time in my life that I've ever had, like, any semblance of a healthy friendship. So, I'm still learning a lot of things. So it's like, I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. I still make a lot of mistakes just from like old habits from when I was a kid that have carried over and everything. So it's like, we're all human. That's what makes us human, you know? But it's like, you know, you learn from your past mistakes. You know, whether it's like other people have caused you problems or you're the one causing problems, you know? So, what can we do? Speaking of other things causing problems, so you know that funny moment from Tuesday with Yoshi doing arts and crafts in Crazy Cutter? I went back and clipped that because I saw it yesterday. I was like, I remember to do that, and I checked if anyone had clipped it, and no one did. So I went ahead and clipped that moment. I went back and did that. But as I was doing it, I noticed the playback was really strange off of the Twitch page, and the game audio was super desynced from everything else. I don't know if it's a me issue or if it's a Twitch issue. I feel like it's a Twitch issue because my other VOD's perfectly fine. The audio is synced and everything. Everything's fine. But Tuesday was really bad. And it started with technical difficulties. But like, I checked the VOD on Twitch, but I went back and watched the clip I made. Perfectly in sync. Audio and video are perfectly in sync on the clip. And I'm like, that's so weird. So I do more digging. I check the VOD again. It's, you know, like I check exactly, but like I'm having all kinds of audio issues. So it's like, oh my god, this is so weird. It's like, why is Twitch gaslighting me? And then, I upload my VODs to YouTube like right away. Dude. The hell? But yeah, I usually upload the VODs from Twitch to YouTube like the next day or like the next time I stream because it's kind of part of my setup routine. So I have a pretty good routine that I follow, and if anything's like out of order, I freak out. Virgo Mars. Anyway, you know, I check the VOD on YouTube. It's not public yet. Like, no one can watch it. I have more beef with you. I have a lot of beef with all these freaking sites. I'll move on to YouTube beef in a second, but I checked the VOD on YouTube. And perfectly in sync. Nothing out of sync, nothing out of order. You know, everything is perfectly normal through that VOD. And I'm like, this has to be a Twitch issue. It has to be. And why is it only that one? So I wondered if like something happened. I wonder if something happened during the stream. I mean, again, it started off with tech issues out the wazoo. Because I'd only moved my mic and I was getting crazy audio, crazy frame drops. Like within like the first like 6 minutes of stream, there was already like over 1,000 dropped frames even beforehand. And then when I got started, said hello and adjusted my mic, it all went to shit and there was like 3,700 dropped frames. Or it's like 3597 or 37 something. There was like over 3,000 dropped frames within like the first 10 minutes of stream. And it's like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? And we were trying different things and like, you know, it ended up fixing itself, but that in itself may have broken the VOD. So like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, but yeah, it's only the Twitch VOD that it does that with. So I will do my best over the weekend, maybe, or maybe like this evening, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Because as far as I know, I'm still playing Human Fall Flat with Blue later this evening. So sometime today, or sometime over the weekend, I don't know, I'll get VODs cut up in current. Oh shit! I jumped the gun. So yeah, I'll get VODs current, so that way no one has to deal with the experience of out of sync. And also, I don't know if it's a me issue. I know it's me, and when I check that VOD, if I check Tuesday's VOD, then, and if I jump around a lot, it's going to like cause issues with the audio desyncing. But I don't know what happens if anyone else checks it. I don't know. So yeah, that's my Twitch issue. Link to the Shadow Realm. So, my issue with YouTube here recently, and I know this one is not a me problem, because I have looked it up, and there's a bunch of other people that have had issues with this. So, and it's only a YouTube mobile. So, how I upload my VODs and get them public, you know, I upload from bruh. Really? Anywho, it's fine, it's early. So, there's an option to upload your Twitch VODs directly to YouTube. I think you gotta like link your YouTube account and stuff, and I did that since the very beginning, and that's how I've been uploading my VODs, because my laptop doesn't have enough space to like keep, you know, recordings, to keep like raw recordings. I wish I could. I wish I could, but I can't. And so that's what I've been doing. That's how I've been uploading my Twitch VODs to YouTube. Too early. So anyway. So I will, and also one of the options whenever you are uploading your Twitch VOD to YouTube. What? I'm just plagued with bad luck right now. Oh, I didn't. Oh, come on. Anyway, there's an option for like, split the VOD into, you know, 15-minute videos. There's, upload it public, private, public or private. You can split it into like 15-minute parts. It's like, I just want the whole thing in there. What I used to do is upload it as a private video, so that way I can go back into YouTube itself, go in with the editing and like kind of scrum through the VOD, screenshot the video for the particular moment in the game, or just what I want out of like the thumbnail. Cause like, I don't really like the defaults that they go with, because like nothing interesting happens, and also it's like, you know, trying to get a good thumbnail in the certain part of the game. Because here's an example. During the entire Gauntlet run that I did a couple years ago for Mario Party, every thumbnail for the Gauntlet run in particular is the title card for the board. I don't know if anyone goes back and watches my VODs on YouTube or not. I don't know, but it's just one of those things that is satisfying to me and only me, probably. But yeah, for the Gauntlet run, I went and screenshotted the title card for each board. So that way you know which board it is for this particular Gauntlet run. Another example, when I played Xenoblade 2 and got to Chapter 7, the famed Chapter 7, there's an iconic line that Rex says, And without showing any flat out spoilers for anything else in Chapter 7, I found the moment where Rex says the line, "I love you and all you guys." Again, without context, it's not necessarily a spoiler, but it's one of those if you know, you know. I captured that moment, and it's just Rex in the frame. It's just him, center frame. I took a screenshot of that, and that is the thumbnail for that particular stream when I got there in that part of the game. So I usually try to highlight specific parts of the game, you know, that are like the most exciting, you know, so that's why sometimes it takes a minute for me to get stream VODs like public. Sometimes it takes a minute. And I end up forgetting and procrastinating, and that part takes a while. It's like I could easily just, you know, just hit the button, boot public, and it's done. No, I actually go in and I find a thumbnail that I like. I add the tags, you know, I put it in the playlist so everything's all nice and neat and together and convenient. So that's usually the process. So what's my issue with YouTube then? Well, here recently in the last few weeks, they kind of changed some things on mobile. So on your own YouTube account, if you had a video private, you can still watch it because it is your video that you uploaded. It is just private to you and only you. Well, they changed it. So you no longer can view your own private videos. You can't view your own private videos anymore. On mobile. I don't know how it is on desktop. I don't know how anything else is. But, you can't view private videos on mobile, even your own private videos. Like things that I uploaded under my username that are listed in my videos that are marked private, I can't watch them. So the last batch I did last week of uploads, I had to go in to edit each individual thing, and I had to change it to unlisted. And unlisted is only people that have the link to the video can watch it. So I had to change it to unlisted to watch the video back. That's also a big thing, is watching the video back, because sometimes I get so far behind and the VOD isn't available on Twitch, on my Twitch page anymore. So it's like I gotta, scrum through the VOD, because like I won't go through the Twitch VOD watching, because like it kind of sucks. But it's whatever. Yeah, and also, again, I hate the default thumbnails it gives. So I go in and find my own thumbnails, and I can't do that if I can't watch my own private video. So I have to change it to unlisted, so I am able to watch these videos again. Just so I am able to. Which is so dumb. It is 100% stupid that I have to do this. And in the midst of all this problems, I was looking it up just to see, like, am I crazy? Is it a glitch on my part? Like, what's going on with my YouTube account? And like, no, a lot of other people are having issues. And also, it's like, it's your own private video. Why wouldn't you be able to watch your own private video? Okay. So, yeah, that's my beef with YouTube. So ever since last week, there is an option to upload the VOD from Twitch as unlisted. There is an option to do that, and that's what I've been doing, and I hate that I have to do that. Because also it's like, unless it's someone with a link, you know? Part of me is like, what if someone gets a hold of the link somehow? You know? Whether it, you know, actually happens or not, but it's like, you know, it's like, what if, man? Because there have been times where I have accidentally uploaded it as public before I went in and changed it and got the thumbnails I want. That happened a lot with Origami King, because I specifically remember there was a YouTube comment saying, this was public a little bit ago, why is it private? What's going on? It's like, dude, I'm slipping up. They're not supposed to be public yet. Alright, Yoshi, let's limbo. You and your big nose. Follow your nose. Alright, we're good. We're good. So, yeah, there's my beef with YouTube. There is my beef with YouTube. And, like, I have, like, you know, just kind of, like, little ambitions in the back of my mind. Like, the content that I, like to consume is kind of like, if I'm not watching it in a live setting, I mean, there's some, like, stream VODs I'll watch, like, people playing games with friends. I've been watching a lot of, like, people play, like, Jackbox together. And it is kind of nice to, like, you know, have that kind of background noise in a way. And I will watch specific VODs. But sometimes if I want to watch someone play a particular game and, like, the editing style is really, really good, I'll watch, like, a supercut of someone playing a particular game. Recently, hello, Antonio. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. There's this YouTuber. I think he streams on YouTube primarily. His name is Bringle, I believe. He does a lot of Paper Mario stuff. I think a while back, there was a video he did of, like, can I beat Super Paper Mario without leveling up? And I think we got that. I think my husband posted that video in Discord. Speaking of Discord, there's a link if you want to join. And, like, I've seen him play, Sticker Star. He did, like, a supercut of Sticker Star. He played Color Splash as well, and most recently he played through Origami King, which was what I had watched, like, the last few weeks or so. And it's like, I love the editing style. And, you know, it's so funny watching him play for the first time. It's like, and I played Origami King a year ago. So it was kind of still fresh in my mind, and also just kind of seeing the appreciation for Origami King. I do think out of Sticker Star, Color Splash, and Origami King is the better of the three. It is the best of the three. There we go. That's grammatically correct. And I think he agreed with that. There's a lot of good in Origami King, but there's also a lot of meh. A lot of meh. And he kind of shares the same sentiment I do with Origami King, where, like, the regular battles suck, but the boss battles, the Vellumentals and the office, the League of Stationary or whatever it is, the Legion of Stationary, like, those boss battles are really, really good, whereas the regular battles are not fun. They are not fun. So it's like, I would love to, like, take one of my stream playthroughs and, like, just, like, do, like, a supercut and, like, fun editing. But, like, I personally don't have the technology for it. Like, I need a new laptop so bad. Like, it's getting really bad. And I'm noticing a lot with my keyboard. Because for one, a lot of keys are being very weird. My enter key doesn't work sometimes because it's being all weird. I have to, like, pop it out to loosen it up. So it's like, if I had the technology, you know, the want to, you know, like, to get the technology, or even, like, the money to pay someone to do it, you know, like, I don't have the means to do that. I would love to, though. Like, take, like, you know, my Paper Mario playthroughs and, like, condense them down into, like, funny little videos, you know? Because, like, it is fun to see someone like play through a game, even if it's like, you know, several different parts. Because like with Bringles, the super cut, it's like one like section at a time. Like the first part was like the red streamer, then the blue streamer, then the yellow, then purple, then green. That's the order. That's the order of the streamers in Origami King. But yeah, you know, like every section at a time, like Paper Mario section in chapters, you know. All right. So that's kind of like my idea and like my goal. I would, again, but also it's like, I don't know what rates editors go for, and also like what I would need for like the communication on that. Oh no! No, 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 I want the money! I wanted all the money. It's fine. So, but it's like, I'm not like super duper like picky, but also it's like, you know, being an artist, like I'm, the artist brain is like, I want to make sure my work is how I want it, but also it's like, if I pay someone else, it's like, I gotta trust them. I gotta trust their process. So, because I know a lot of YouTubers have their own editors that they pay, you know. But man, it would be really cool to do that. So, and it's not like an attention span issue. It's sometimes like you want to see someone play a game and just kind of cut out the boring parts and just kind of get to the more exciting parts. You know, like I really wanted to see, you know, someone's reaction to like, oh, the dancing hole punch in Origami King, you know? What's up, Bowser? What up? How you doing? The shining star? Bruh. It's not a shining star. That's black, my guy. Are you colorblind or what? I mean, I guess colorblind can still see black. Cause like, black is essentially a void. Black is a void. Also, fun fact, if you mix every color together, you get like this weird brown color. You don't get black like Color Splash implies. Because, fun fact, if you mix opposite colors on the color wheel, you get some kind of brown. You mix red and green, you get kind of like this kind of weird orangey brown color. If you mix like purple and yellow, you get kind of like a darker brown. You get some shade of brown whenever you mix stuff. So I've painted with acrylic before and I've only had a certain amount of colors, so I'm not in charge. Cool. So yeah, if you take two opposites on the color wheel, like purple, yellow, blue, orange, red, green, you take those and that's also how you can cancel out colors. Like if you mix a red paint and a green paint, you're gonna get some kind of brown. But, if you, for baking purposes, if you get buttercream frosting, buttercream is naturally yellow. It has a yellow tint to it. So how do we make this yellow buttercream frosting a pure white color? You add a couple drops of purple food coloring, because the purple will cancel out the yellow and make it white. Which is also why, like, hair coloring is like this too. A lot, if you want to go like platinum blonde and you don't want to go too yellow, that's why like purple shampoos are like the way to go, or even like the blue toner or whatever. So you gotta know your color wheel. It's color wheel's pretty intense, and color theory is crazy. But yeah, that's just kind of the thing there. But yeah, it always bugged me seeing Color Splash. Like, yeah, all the paints mixed together get black. No, not really. Not really. Bam. So, yeah. Just been vibing. We love it when we vibe. Alright. Let's see. I feel like, last night I was on TikTok, as one is. I was watching TikToks, as one does. And, there was a TikTok that I came across that, kind of talked about this little, like, quote-unquote test to see if you can figure out someone's, Hogwarts house by asking a simple question. And they gave their examples in the TikTok and kind of, you know, gave out what each answer correlates to. And I put it to the test, and I'd say it seems pretty accurate. So the question is, I pose to you, chat. You can put your answers in chat, or you can just keep them to yourselves. So the question was, there is a locked room, or like you're trying to get into a room, but the door is locked. What do you do? Making sure I get the question right, because I asked a couple different people this. So I worded it to my husband a little bit differently, but the same. Yeah. So if you had to get into a room, but the door is locked, how do you get in? Or what do you do? Like, what do you do? So think about your answers. So if you had to get into a room, but the door is locked, what do you do? I'll give it a few seconds maybe for people to think about their answers. Because I'll give you, like, my answer was not quite the straightforward one-to-one, but I think it's in the same vein as it. Because I have taken the Pottermore quiz like 4 or 5 different times, and it has told me Slytherin each time. So I'm pretty sure I am a Slytherin. Oh my god, dude! What the fuck? God, my skin cells are on this controller. The fuck? I was spinning like crazy and Mario just got jacked, my guy. Anyway. So, we got answers to our question? Okay. So. And I asked my husband this, and I asked Blue this. So these are my 2 credible sources here, because I knew their Hogwarts houses. Because, okay, so my husband took the Pottermore test like 1 time a few years ago, and I think it makes a little bit of sense. And he took it 1 time, and it told him Gryffindor. So, any Harry Potter nuts. Like, I'm not like super duper into Harry Potter, but like I know enough a little bit. My husband's more of the Harry Potter nerd than I am. Anywho, so I'm a Slytherin, my husband's a Gryffindor, and I believe Blue is a Hufflepuff. I remember her saying that a couple times before in her streams. So, so for the locked door question, Gryffindors will bust down the door. Gryffindors will bust down the door. Slytherins will try to pick the lock. Hufflepuffs will knock to see if anyone's in there. And Ravenclaw will go find the key. So those are the answers. My immediate answer wasn't quite pick the lock. My immediate answer was like, try to find another way in to open the door from the inside. Which I think that's kind of in the realm of pick the lock, because it's not really busting the door down. It's sneaking your way in to open it from the inside, so that was my answer. My husband's answer was, it kind of depends, like, how much time do I have? If I have a lot of time, learn to pick the lock. But if I don't have time, I'm busting the door down. So it's like, well, gut reaction. It's like, well, all right, you're busting the door down. That checks out. That checks out. And then I asked Blue this, and she said, I don't know, is anyone there? I'd knock. And it's like, yep, that checks out. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. And also what's crazier, because phones and everything would be wildin', because I never sent my husband the TikTok. I did not send him the TikTok at all. All I did was unprompted asked him the question. So it's like, hey, random question. Or it's like, I saw a TikTok and I'm gonna ask a random question. And I asked him the question. And then after we discussed the answers and everything, like a few minutes later, he sends me the TikTok I saw and is like, is this the TikTok you saw? I'm like, yes, because he got it on his For You page like moments later. Help, thank you. So it was pretty funny. Bunch of ghosts with my face. So yeah, that's a fun little kind of like icebreaker thing. So like, I have always loved like little like personality test type things. I've always like really liked it, even though like there is no like, you know, catch one, whatever, you know, catch all for whatever, right? Like, you know, astrology, your zodiac sign, your MBTI. There's also like, I've seen blood type personalities that Asian cultures go to. You know, there's like a lot of different things. Like even like, you know, if you're in a Harry Potter Hogwarts house, like I know it's not a, you know, catch-all for everything, but there's nuances to everything, you know, because like everyone's different. Like, I've also seen, like, hey, here's your MBTI based on your astrology. And, like, MBTI changes all the time. MBTI can change a lot. That's why it's not super duper accurate. It can also change depending on how you answer the questions. Or, like, if someone's answering for you. You know, it's so totally different. Like, I've taken it several times. I've answered slightly different on occasion, and I have gotten the same result every time. I am an INFP. So, but it's like, here's your MBTI based on your you know, your big 3 signs in astrology, and your big 3 signs are your sun, your moon, your rising. My big 3 is Cancer sun, Aries moon, Leo rising. And anytime I check any of those, like, here's your MBTI based on your big 3, it tells me, like, extrovert. I'm like, bitch, excuse me? Am no extrovert. Am not an extrovert. What? There we go. I am sitting very strangely. There we go. Full rotations. Good full rotations with the oh god, nope, no, don't do that. Don't, excuse me. Oh my god, don't do that. Ow, that hurt my bicep. No, I don't think it was my bicep. I think it's more whatever fucking muscles in your upper arm. I don't know. I didn't take anatomy. I know it wasn't my bicep, because that doesn't hurt. Tricep doesn't hurt either, because I know bicep is, like, you know, when you just, like, standard flex your arm, the little bump on your arm, that's your bicep. Tricep's kind of, back behind. Order white pants? Nice! Let's go. Steel Star from Morrow. Because I want to steal a star from him because I can. Anywho, like, yeah, a lot of the time it's like, here's here's your MBTI based off of your astrology, and that's usually incorrect. It's like, no. Because like, oh hey, Leo rising, you're an extrovert. It's like, I may look like an extrovert. Maybe. You know. But like, no. Am not. Or even my Aries moon. It's like, yeah, you can be very loud, but like, just because 2 out of the 3 of my big 3 are fire signs, very loud and explosive fire signs, doesn't mean I am purely an extrovert. It means I have traits of those signs in specific areas of my psyche, because that's what a birth chart is. Because that's what a birth chart is. Like, different planets tell you different things about your personality. Oh my god. Get out of here. No! Yeah, they're a little smarter in a board. Minigame Island, you can just let them go. What? Dude. Your sun sign is kind of like the ego overall, kind of what you would like present as, like your core personality as it comes off, you know? Like kind of it's not the face value. The face value is your rising sign. Hello, Johnny. Hello, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. So like your sun sign just kind of overall, and like usually if you see like some people talk about like, oh, your horoscope, your sign, just as in general, it's usually sun signs. So my sun sign is a Cancer. It's that the day of your birth determines that. So like if you were born today, you would be a Pisces because we are in Pisces season. So like, yeah, the date of your birth determines your sun sign. And also, BT dubs. I know enough about astrology to tell you this. Cusps don't exist. There is no such thing as a Cancer, Leo, sun sign cusp. You are either a Cancer or a Leo. That's it. That's pretty cut and dry. And you know this by kind of plugging in the numbers and looking at the degrees of everything. So, like my husband, he was born on like the cutoff of Virgo and Libra. Boop. Because he was born September 22nd. And that's usually the last day of Virgo, kind of bleeds into Libra. And he was born later in the evening. He was born in like 6 p.m. in that hour. I'm not going to give you the exact birth time because, you know, giving you a birth time and giving you an idea on times, you could really dig a lot of info about someone. You may find things you may not know if you know what you're looking at. Anyway, but he was kind of born in like the later evening hours, and with the degree that he has in his sun sign, like if he was born maybe like 2 or 3 hours later, he could have been a Libra. I have a nephew who was born on a cusp day. And if he was born before noon, he would be a Leo. And if he was born after 12 p.m. noon, then he would be a Virgo. So the sun signs transition varying times. Again, if you want to like kind of dive more into that, it's a really easy Google search, finding, you know, transits, charts, and everything. So like cusps don't exist. And it's like, but I have traits of both a Cancer and a Leo. Well, that's something you look into your birth chart for. Like a lot of the typical thing is like, oh, I don't like my sun sign is a Taurus, but I don't associate anything. I don't feel like it's not correct. Well, let's look deeper into your birth chart. You may have a strong presence of some other sign, or you may relate more to your moon sign, which is usually the case. So your sun sign is just kind of the overall. Your moon sign is kind of the emotions within, because moon is associated with, like, Cancerian, the mother, your emotions. And just kind of who you are. I associate the moon sign with, like, who you are behind closed doors in a way. Like, who you are when you're, like, in your element. Who are you when you're in your element? I'm very loud and very shouty and very ranty when I am in my element. My streams, especially Mario Party streams, are a very good example of my Aries moon. They're a very good example of it, because, like, Aries are known to be super, like, impulsive, very up, down energy. The anger for an Aries is like, ah! And then they bloop, they kind of pull back. So, yeah, my Mario Party streams are a very good example of my Aries moon. My husband has a Taurus moon. So he's very, very homey, likes food a lot. He just likes food. So, like, if you feel like you associate more with your moon sign, it's probably because you do. And your moon sign is probably different than your sun sign. So that's kind of, a lot of disconnect. And then rounding out, like, the big three is your rising sign. Now, you have to have a birth time. You have to know what time you were born to find your rising. You can make some educated guesses, kind of based on some knowledge. But to know for sure, concrete, you need to have a birth time to know your rising sign. And the rising sign is essentially, where was the sun when you were born? Where was the sun? So my rising sign is Leo. And also your rising sign helps determine the houses where your planets can reside. And that also affects a lot of personality things as well. So it's like, oh, I don't have, like, a strong presence of this. Like, Allie loves food. My child loves food. And sometimes, like, she, kind of keeps to herself on some things, but, like, she loves food, She likes having physical things. But she has no Taurus anywhere. No Taurus anywhere in her chart. She is, like, all Gemini. All Gemini except for her Venus. But her moon is in her second house. And second house kind of represents, like, kind of Taurus, like, your kind of materialistic, the beauty. Because Taurus is ruled by Venus. Because, like, different signs are ruled by different planets and everything. And it's just, like, a whole lot to get into up front. But, like, the first house, kind of like the Aries, like the up front. Second house, it's kind of like your material things. So, like, if you have your moon, you're kind of attached to, like, some material stuff. And, like, that's okay. Sentimental value. You're sentimentally attached to a lot of things. And, like, my husband won't admit this, but, like, he does get attached to a lot of stuff. But like, this, it's not a problem. It's not a big deal. But, like, yeah, moon in the second house. Like, they share it. So, like, they're definitely father-daughter for sure. So, stuff like that. Your planets can be in, like, different houses, and that affects how the planets function, where the energy, like, where it goes. Like, I'll give you an example. Why is that a 32? 93, 32. Where did I get 32? What's an example I can give? Like, my sun, the planet, my sun, is in my 12th house. 12th house rules the subconscious. It rules the subconscious, the daydreamer, you kind of keep to yourself. Potential psychic abilities. I say potential because, like, I see a lot of stuff. You gotta do a lot of research. You gotta do a lot of research into it. So So with my sun being in my 12th house, I'm a very private person. Despite the Leo rising, I am a very private person. You know, kind of keep to myself, which is why I feel like I thrive a lot in like this environment, like, you know, streaming. Because like, you know, everyone in like my IRL life may not know this side of me, but like, this is what I'm comfortable with because like, I am comfortable in like my own, you know, home. Like I get to be comfortable while everyone experiences the good sides of me, you know? Ready, go. Wee. So it's just like one of those things, you know? So kind of backtracking to like what each planet does, because that's kind of like the basis here. So sun, moon, rising. So what's after sun, moon, rising? Well, Mercury. Mercury is communication. How do you talk? How do you communicate? My Mercury is in Cancer. So like, you know, my speech patterns could be pretty soft. You know, like kind of soft, very, you know, parental, motherly in a way. Someone that has a Gemini Mercury could talk with their hands a lot. Trust me, I've seen it. I've seen it. I feel like I've looked up my mom's birth chart one time, but like I don't know what time she was born, so I don't know the accuracies. But I can at least like, you know, kind of look at the, you know, just where the planets are. Because, like, if you don't know your birth time, it'll kind of default everything to, like, 12 p.m. noon. So, anyway, my mom, I want to say mom was a Gemini Mercury. She was a Cancer Sun, Taurus Moon, and her Mercury was in Gemini. And my mom was so known for talking with her hands. Like, I could be sitting at the kitchen bar with her, and she'd be cutting some stuff up for cooking, and you know, she had a big sharp knife in her hand, and I'd be sitting right next to her, like, you know, like 2 feet away, and then she'd get to talking, and her knife would be in her right hand, right next to me, and she'd just be waving it around as she was talking. It's like, Mom, can you please, like, shut up for a second so you're not waving a knife in front of my face, please? So, because, like, Geminis are all, you know, they're very talkative, you know. Like, everyone's like, oh, Geminis are two-faced. Like, there's more to Geminis than just being two-faced. It's more duality. A lot of it is duality. But also, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. That's communication. So, of course, they're going to talk a lot. They're going to be, like, real wild and everywhere. May not stick to one thing at a time for too long. But yeah, I've seen several examples of Gemini Mercuries like talking with their hands a lot. I do well, Allie, you know, being like all Gemini Mercury. I've seen her talk with her hands, do like a bunch of hand motions, and you know, with everything. No worries, DA. Go take care of your mom and get some food. Food is for sure important. Bloop. 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 And there we go. All right, all done. Anyway, so I've seen when, this is one of my favorite things to tell about Allie. When Allie was about two or three, I remembered, or maybe she was like one, toddler. 1 to 2, I think. We took her to the grocery store, and we were trying to figure out what we wanted for supper. And Allie was at the age where she wanted to push the cart. And we let her push the cart, you know, and her hands were right on the cart, you know. She was pushing it, doing a really good job, being a big girl. And then we asked her, hey, Allie, what do you want for supper? And this kid proceeds to let go of the cart and answer the question and talk with her hands. So she had to let go of the cart to answer the question, and I thought that was really, really funny. And that was one thing that reminded me of Mom. So I'm like, oh, that's so funny. So yeah, and also fun fact, Mercury can only be one of 3 signs in relation to your birth chart. Because Venus is also like this too, but not quite to the extent that Mercury is in. So Mercury can only be one of 3 signs. Let's use mine for an example. I have a Cancer Mercury, but I'm a Cancer Sun. My Mercury can only be 1 sign before the same sign or 1 sign after your sun sign. So for me, Cancer Sun, my Mercury can only be a Gemini, a Cancer, or a Leo. Say, let's say, again, husband as an example. Let's use him. He's a Virgo Sun. So his Mercury can only be Leo, Virgo, or Libra, and his Mercury is Libra. So it's like not always do your oh my god, Maro, he's being stupid. Not like your Mercury sign doesn't always match your sun, but like the chances are pretty good. Chances are pretty big that it does, but like it doesn't always. Like again, my husband, he is a Virgo sun, and his Mercury is in Libra. So, and Libras, also ruled by Venus, are known to be very charming. And they're charming and charismatic. The way they talk kind of captures your attention. I don't think my husband's really a big, like... He's so in the middle of things. Like, if there is a physical embodiment of true neutral, it is him. Which is so insane. But, like... he doesn't really go one way or the other. Like, he'll talk to anybody about anything. Like, a lot of the time, like, typical Midwest, like, he gets caught talking a lot to other people. Like, he is the worst offender at the Midwest goodbye. Like, I can't tell you how many times we have tried to leave his parents' house, and, like, I'm by the door walking out, and he's just still sitting on the couch at his parents' house still talking, and it's like, dear, please, let's go. Let's go. But like, I think that kind of the Libra Mercury is very charming. My dad had a Libra Mercury as well. What? That one. Yay! And my dad was my dad was also a Libra sun, so that makes sense too. He was known for being like very, very charming, talked to a lot of people, like knew the right words to say in a way. So, and Libra is an air sign. Air signs are known for like the communication, and they're known for that. So, so that's like your Mercury, is like your communication. How do you talk to people? How do you talk to people? How do you write? How do you text? Mercury is also technology. So whenever they say, oh, Mercury's in retrograde, because that's the one that always goes in the retrograde, it also affects technology. So I really thought, I don't like keep track of a lot of things. Like, I don't know when Mercury goes into retrograde or when planets go into retrograde or anything. I keep track of like the major stuff. But I really had that moment when we had the technical difficulties on Tuesday. I'm like, is Mercury in the Gatorade again? That's usually like the big joke. But like, when I think that, it's like, yep, is it in retrograde? Is it not? I don't know. But then after Mercury is Venus. Venus is how we love. How we express love and everything. So my Venus is in Cancer. Again, very homey, very motherly, I guess. Now Venus, I believe can only be like either 2 signs before, 2 signs after, or the same sign as your sun sign. I don't remember, but like it can only be like a handful of things. So yeah, Venus is like the way we love, and how we, act around our loved ones and everything. I feel like it was something else, but it's escaping me. But then we move on to Mars. Mars is like kind of how we get angry. can always, and also like get angry, aggression, as real as it is, like it also has something to do with sex, you know. Like I mentioned Virgo Mars earlier. I just kind of the strict mentality, like, you know, like Virgos are known for being like really picky. That checks out. Virgos tend to be really picky, kind of they stick to a schedule. They're real set in their routine, real stubborn. Like, hey, Virgo Mars, it makes a lot of sense. Cause like, and also, okay. I'm very routine oriented. If something is like slightly messed up, it's like, okay, cool, whatever. But like if something is like messed up to a degree where I can't focus on anything else, it's like, ugh. That's my Virgo Mars. And also Virgos are known perfectionists. Hi, pick me, I'll play. I really do lean into my Virgo Mars sometimes. Yeah, I do lean into my Virgo Mars a lot, especially like the perfectionism, making sure things are kind of the way I want them to be, make sure everything's right, you know, and like real set in a routine. Like, hey, I usually do this on this day, or this is like the order of operations when I'm like setting up stream or, you know, doing my whole art process. Like, if you ask me to do my art process in a completely different way, I'd be like, oh, what? Because it's usually, sketch with like a light color, and then it's like a darker sketch, and then I do lines, and then I do flats, and then I do, the rendering on said flats, and then afterwards I go in with like background stuff. I don't do the background till the very end, because I hate backgrounds. I put it off forever. I got you, Luigi, I got you. Who in the hell let that happen? Guys, no! Go, Luigi, go. Nice. So that's like, you know, Mars sign. I have heard, like, if your Mars is, like, in a water sign, definitely, like, big emotional bursts. Earth sign Marses tend to kind of keep it in and just kind of observe, which, you know, Moon is emotion, so it kind of, like, plays a part in, like, you know, Mars as well. So it's like, I've got, like, two kinds of anger. I've got my big, ranty, explosion in the moment anger, which happens a lot in Mario Party. We're like, what the fuck was that? You know, like, that's my Aries Moon. That's the Aries Moon anger. But you don't wanna deal with my Virgo Mars anger. Like, you don't wanna do that. Cause, like, you know, Virgo Mars, like, Virgos are very meticulous. They're picky. They're very kind of set. So when, like, it's like, oh, gone quiet, you just kind of seethe in the anger. It's like, yeah. So it's like I can either play the short game or the long game. And you don't want my anger to play the long game. Because I have, you know, I've had to do that a couple times and I don't like it. But like, there's a lot of like anger. It's like, all right, so I plan my revenge tour if I get real angry. So that's also a lot of Virgo too. So yeah. Fire Marses can definitely be very, you know, fiery, rage-filled. Sagittarius Mars are very spontaneous. Like, think of like Sagittarius itself. Sagittarius itself is very spontaneous. So like, you know, Sagittarius Mars, put that into, you know, the planet of like, you know, sex, aggression, and all that. Very spontaneous. Spontaneous emotional outbursts, I guess. But yeah, those are kind of like your personal planets. Your Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Those are your personal planets. Then we get to like the outer planets, where you got like, you know, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, haha, Neptune, and Pluto still counts in astrology, by the way. Pluto's still a fucking planet! Justice for Pluto. Oh, shit. No! Damn it! No! No, I should have done better! I should have done better! No! I'm so upset. Oh, that was so upsetting. That was so upsetting. Ah, that stabbed me in the heart. Shot through the heart, and you're to blame. Darling, you give love a bad name. I played my part, and I played my game. You give love a bad name. Yeah, way to go, Tessa. You gave away our money. How could you? I'm sorry. It happens. It happens. It's okay. I'm fine. But my leg is starting to hurt, so we may take a break soon. But, yeah, your outer planets, starting with Jupiter. Jupiter's like, luck expansion, and everything. My Jupiter, is in Sagittarius, and that is kind of where Sagittarius feels at home, because Sagittarius itself is ruled by Jupiter. So, it's kind of where, like, you know, your luck is, where your big fortune is going to be. Funny enough, my Jupiter is in my 4th house, so I'm very lucky with, like, my family and my family values and everything. It's where my most expansion is like, you know, the family. Ugh. And then, Jupiter, kind of goes into a sign, like, every year or so. Every year, few months, something. Because, me and my husband are 10 months apart in terms of age. And, oops, I didn't want that. Oh, it's fine. But, like, he has a different Jupiter sign than I do. His Jupiter is in, Scorpio, like, one sign before mine. Now, I haven't, like, done a whole lot enough about the outer planets yet, so, like, I don't know enough without, like, Googling it, like, right now this minute. But I know Saturn is, like, your kind of the strict, hard life lessons. Bruh! Man, why is Bowser up there? I don't want to deal with Bowser. You know, kind of the struggle points in life. So, it's like, and Saturn changes, like, after, like, 2.5 years, 3 years. It changes signs every, like, few years. And, like, one of the big things in astrology is, like, oh, your Saturn return. When does, oh, like, your return. It's, like, when, the planet goes back into, like, the same sign and degree. So, about every 30 or so years. My Saturn return was a year ago on April 1st, which, like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, my Saturn, is in, Pisces. And I think the sign, with your outer planets, it's kind of more like the generational stuff. So, like, people kind of, born kind of in my age range, because I was born in 95, have a Pisces Saturn, which is kind of like the collective in the age group, but also, look for what house it's in. That's why it's kind of important to know, what, like, you know, what your birth time is. Because I won't tell you. I mean, you can probably kind of take a wild guess if you know enough about astrology to know what planet my Saturn is in. Or what house my Saturn is in. What planet? Oh, come on. Whee! So, yeah, I'm not gonna, like, go into detail because it's a lot of personal information you can dig up about me, because a lot of, my, what house my Saturn is in is a lot of, very real information. Not like I don't want to like blatantly talk about. But it's one of those, like, once you find out where things are, things start making a lot of sense. So, and then after Saturn is, haha, Uranus! Ping, ping, double get you, maniac. Frankenstein, showed him go to maniac. Maniac. Haha. Maniac right after Uranus. That's so funny. Hello, Alex. Hello, hello. Welcome, men. Hope you're having a good day. I've come to the conclusion men are boring. You know, I am inclined to agree with that sometimes. Like, sometimes men definitely can be boring. Not always, but... I haven't won this in a while. I did it, because I focused on the music and not anything else. Yeah, Uranus is like curveballs. Kind of the oddball, the generational changes or whatever. I don't know. Again, like it's usually like curveball changes, stuff like that. Neptune is kind of like the subconscious, the dreamer. Most millennials have both Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn. The millennial, ooh, oh no. No. I want Mario to get screwed. And also, Pluto being in, Scorpio for millennials. That's usually... What? I am... It flagged something odd, but I'm only going to deny it just based off of context clues. Yeah, we're talking about planets and astrology. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, with Pluto's like the generational planets to kind of encapsulate. Yeah, like what even? Yeah, that was so strange what it flagged that as. That's crazy. But yeah. And I know like the whole like, oh, millennial, like where's the cutoff for millennial Gen Z? I know one of my rules of thumb was, you know, like sibling dynamic. Another thing I look at is your birth chart, if you know enough about astrology, where your Pluto is. And if you think about like the generations as a whole, it makes a lot of sense. Millennials are the Pluto and Scorpio generation. We've dealt with a lot of shit. We have dealt with a lot of shit. We keep it inside, you know, and it's like we're trying our best, but it's like we're kind of vengeful in a way. Scorpios are definitely like we don't forget. We don't forget shit. Gen Z is Pluto in Sagittarius. Sagittarius are definitely more carefree, the free spirit, the spontaneity. So that definitely encapsulates Gen Z in a way, for sure. Alright, I'm just gonna go. Thank you. I was like, why? Why aren't we dropping me? Anywho. Say something, no dubs allowed for us. Nope. No dubs. Millennials are rarely casual about a little horror that happened in the 90s and 2000s. We were children. We were children in the 90s and 2000s. So most of the time, we didn't understand what was going on until we were older. And we have lived through a lot of, like, major life events. That's why a lot of millennials are so casual about a lot of stuff going on, like, right now. Like, I'm not gonna go into, like, everything because it's not my place to talk about, like, current world events. Because we're here for an escape, not to talk about reality, okay? Anyway, most millennials are very casual about, like, what's going on because it's like, we've been through so many things. We're, like, desensitized to a lot of things. But also, like, we were still children in the 90s and 2000s. Like, the oldest millennials were probably about 18 when 2000 hit. Because me and my siblings are like the perfect age range, like a good basis of age range for millennials. Because my oldest brother was a senior in high school when I was in kindergarten. So there you go. So it's like, a lot of us were still children, and like, you don't know the world and how everything works at 18. Just because you graduate high school doesn't mean you magically know everything about being an adult. So, and like, a lot of stuff in like media and everything too, like, everything like 2000s and stuff, you know, like, we've come all the way back around to like this extreme diet culture, especially in women. That we've like, you know, with like the Ozempic thing and going on, and everyone's like all trying to be like super duper skinny. It's like we've really gone backwards because everyone's like, oh, 2000 skinny. It's like, no, you do not want to be 2000 skinny. You absolutely do not want to be 2000 skinny. That's why a lot of us millennials have body image issues. It's because all the celebrities were like super duper skinny. And, you know, all these, like, strict diets and everything. And it's like, no, I'm so tired of this. So, yeah. But yeah, a lot of millennials that are, like, just more or less desensitized to a lot of things now because, like, most of us are grown adults. And, cause, like, hi, I'm on the younger side of millennial, and I'm 30. So it's like, we've been through a lot of shit. And we still get blamed for a lot of stuff that even, like, Gen Z, or even, like, the older Gen Alpha is doing. Like, we're still getting blamed for a lot of this shit. It's like, no, it's not us. It's like, I know a lot of Gen Z also retaliates. Like, oh, we did this too. It's like, the older Gen Z is like, yes, we understand that. You know? It's like, I understand the nuance of when people, address, like, a generation. It's probably more or less everyone in the middle of, like, the wide spectrum of the generation. Like, there are some things that, like, millennials did, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then there's some stuff about Gen Z, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Because, like, I'm, like, right on that, you know, that cusp there. But I associate more with millennial than anything else. I'd say I'm a millennial with, like, a splash of Gen Z. Because when I'm with my siblings, man, I feel like they are so out of touch. I feel like, man, you old fogies. But then when I'm with people younger than me, and it's like, why am I the grandpa here? Like, I'm the grandpa. Like, when I'm with my siblings, I'm the grandchild. When I'm with people younger than me, I'm the grandma. Like, what? Like, make sense. We can talk about it and like, oh yeah, that happened, yep. Like, 9/11, yep, that happened. I don't remember exactly the day. I do remember getting out of school early and going home to my mom watching the news. I don't have like perfect memory of that day. But I know my husband remembers what he was doing. I think his sister picked him up from school that day. And like he was going to like walk home from the bus stop and they're like, "No, we're going to pick you up." Whee. So yeah, any like life tragedy, it's like, yep, we've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But it's one of those like, we're so nonchalant about it, but we also understand the severity. So we're not like completely out of touch because we're nonchalant. We're nonchalant because like, we know what to worry about. Ugh, I got my hand. Dun, 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 dun. I'm reading an old 2000s article saying Anne Hathaway was fat. Yeah. And there was like Britney Spears, you know, was gaining weight and becoming fat. There was also a picture of Jessica Simpson of her like performing, and like if you look at it now, like she looked healthy. You know, healthy body. But then that was like obese for 2000 standards. So it was insane. So I need to stretch my legs, and I can also use a snack. So we're gonna take a break. We're going to hold on. I was in line for 9/11, and I can just imagine if I had to deal with a situation like that, I'd be terrified beyond relief. Then older gens are just like, yeah, back in the day, insert 20 different catastrophic events that happened like it's nothing. Yeah, we've been through a lot. So yeah, but also again, like we understand the severity of things, but it's just also nonchalant because like, for one, a lot of things happened so many years ago that have like affected a lot of things, and it's just become, you know, normal for us in a way. But also like we were children when these things happen. Like 9/11, I was 6. I was 6 years old when 9/11 happened. So I also have one of my mom's best friends had a son whose birthday was 9/11. Not no one, but like he turned 4, 3. He turned 4 or 5. I don't remember, 4 or 5. And like 9/11 happened on his birthday. So it's like, that's terrifying. How do you explain to like a 4-year-old what tragedy happened on your birthday? Like what do you even? But anyway, we're gonna take a break. We're going to get up, stretch, go to the bathroom, grab a snack, do whatever it is you need to do, and we'll be right back. All right, here we are back. And we're notebook paper. We're back. I have half a brownie. Let's see how things go. Let's see. Bloop. Toxic trait related is when people have audacity to say it's so selfish to be having kids right now, bringing them into this horrible, terrible world just because you want them. I'm like, brother, we've lived through several catastrophes, terrorist attacks, the world has survived world wars, plagues, etc. Humanity has persisted through worse. We'll get through this too. Don't shame mothers for having kids. Boom! Right there, like, put all of that on a pedestal. Nothing drives me more, like, I even mentioned it, like, earlier today, like, all the pressures of, like, because I feel like you can hear it from both sides. You will hear pressures from people. When are you having kids? When are you having kids? Are you going to have girls? Are you going to have boys? Are you going to try for a boy? Are you going to try for a girl? Like, when are you having kids? And it's like, on the flip side, you can be like, why are you having kids? Why are you trying to have kids in this economy? Like, bitch. Bitch. Shut up. Shut up. Let people live. Like, okay. Like, it's the collective thought of, like, in this economy. Like, that's stupid. Like, let me judge someone for having kids for a valid reason and not, like, in this economy, gross. Like, it's one of those, like, if someone, like, quote unquote, can't keep their legs closed, or trying to have a baby to fix their relationship, that doesn't work. It's like, it's never the child's fault. I will clarify this 100%. It is never the child's fault. In those kinds of situations, it is never the child's fault. Oftentimes, the child gets the blame. It's never the child's fault. Blame the parents. Drink by my brownie. Close situation I had anything bad was Ariana Grande Manchester momming. Yeah, that was awful. My dad was a security guard and got my sister in bartender Scotland's biggest concert venue, and I remember the Little Mix was performed the next week, and my mom refused to let me leave and go to work at it. I remember being like 12 or 13. Yeah, I would 100% wouldn't. If there was like something like that happened, I would definitely not let my kids go anywhere by themselves for a while. Oh, I'm in charge again. I don't want to be in charge. So I can't get both perspectives on why people wouldn't raise kids in this current world, but also some people think we've dealt with it before, we'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. It takes a village. It takes a village, but these people, like, in this economy, no. They don't want to be a villager. It's that kind of attitude that they don't want to be a villager. You know, like, if someone I knew was, you know, trying to have kids, like, I do know someone trying to have kids, but also it's like, if anyone needed help with anything and I had the means to help them, of course. You know, I'm so thankful for my village. Like, if I need some time to myself, you know, to, like, go shopping by myself and not worry about the kids, I can do that. I can drop them off at grandma's. Vegito can stay at home and watch the kids, you know? Or, like, we can all go together and we can teamwork this, you know? Like, it takes a village, and it really does. And it sucks when there are no villagers in your village. And that kind of attitude is why there are no villagers in villages. Alright, Ice Cream Sunday, nice. Current world is not as bad as how the world used to be. And people still had kids, humanity still persisted. We're fine, exactly. Let's not normalize pregnancy. You mean the most natural thing that women have to be doing for thousands of years? I know, it's crazy. So done with people mom shaming, hitting kids, and shaming women for having them, calling it feminism. I hate that too. You have no idea how much I hate that. Nope, it was the other way. Shit. It's fine. But, like, for me, I'm done having kids. I am completely done having kids. I don't want any more. Finish. And just because I'm done having kids doesn't mean I need to shame other people for trying to have kids. You know? And feminism, just the whole term, has gone so out of control, it's lost its original meaning. Which is wildly insane. Because feminism used to mean, like, you know, giving women the same chances, you know. Like, back then, you know, women got the right to vote and everything. Equal pay, because it used to be different. A lot of the things that these quote-unquote feminists are fighting for are things we already have. For one, hating on men is not feminism. Hating on other women for the choices they make is not feminism. What is feminism is defending someone else's, you know, is letting women do whatever they want. Within reason, not breaking the law, of course, but... like, let me do whatever I want to do. Like, if I want to play sports, let me play sports. If I want to, you know, do something in the blue-collar field, let me do something in the blue-collar field. If I wanted to become a welder, let me become a welder. If I want to be a teacher, let me be a teacher. You know? Like, if someone else wants to do this, let them do that. If I want to stay at home, play video games all day, let me stay at home, play video games all day. Like, you know, it's so wild how insane, like, how feminism has gone. And it's like, we have lost the plot. We have lost the plot hardcore on what feminism really means, and it drives me insane. It drives me so insane, I almost shot myself with my cannon. And I think I said this the other day because, who shot me? It might have been me. Because, on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, Twitch Rivals, I think, is the channel that is hosting this event, announced an event in honor of International Women's Day on March 8th. They announced like a big gaming tournament, which, cool! You know, awesome, cool gaming tournament. And the game they decided on was Overcooked. Now, for an environment like Twitch, it is a very bold choice. And it's like, and since then, more information has come out, and I have seen many people's tweets about it. Apparently, no worries, Blue, BRB, you're good. Apparently, the game was voted on, which, cool. They had 4 options. Hold on, my foot is going to break, and it's gonna be painful. I hate it when my foot does this. Ooh, okay. So anyway, they had 4 options for like this big gaming event for International Women's Day, and it's the Twitch Women's Guild that is hosting this. That is putting on this event. So keep this in mind, the Twitch Women's Guild. They voted on this game. They had 4 options, apparently. It was a Claire Obscure challenge run, a Hollow Knight challenge run, Ultimate Chicken Horse, or Overcooked. And from what I had heard on Twitter, Overcooked got the overwhelming majority of the votes. Now, when your options for a big multiplayer event are only those 4 games, of course Overcooked is going to win. It's one of those, they were definitely set up. They were set up, I feel. And I made a tweet with like kind of a lighthearted, the irony is so funny. Because like, again, I've seen wild shit that women deal with when playing video games. I've dealt with some wild shit. And again, in an environment like Twitch, you're being set up for all kinds of failure. by having a cooking game be your event for International Women's Day. You are setting yourself up for the whole women belong in the kitchen jokes. Now, here's the problem. The initial announcement could have been worded better. They could have mentioned the Women's Guild voted on this, or they could have played heavily into the joke. Because a big psychology thing, if you make fun of yourself, no one else can make fun of you because you're already doing it. That's a big psychology thing. So if the women were super, you know, kind of leaning into the jokes, like, yeah, women belong in the kitchen, come watch us play Overcooked. Like, that'd be like, all right, cool, love that. But no, a lot of the women I have seen are just doubling down, defending it. It's like, why are you joking about this? It's like, for one, again, a lot of women in gaming have heard all kinds of sexist, misogynistic shit. A lot of it's like, oh, get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. You know, that's like the classic dude bro joke. But it's one of those, like, the initial announcement didn't, specify anything. If they had mentioned, you know, the women in the Women's Guild voted on this, could have gone over a little bit better. But there was, like, no info at all. They just kind of left the women to defend themselves. And it's like, why? You're just throwing them to the wolves, essentially. Another thing is I've seen other women. I've seen some people, you know, mostly women trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. There's this one gal on Twitter that works in marketing. And she said, like, this is like a disaster, like a PR nightmare in a way. Because it's a sponsored event by, I want to say, Honda. Honda is sponsoring this Overcooked tournament. And I understand when you have a big sponsorship, there's a limited selection of games you can play to satisfy the sponsor. And if Overcooked was the safest choice, cool. But also, the higher-ups that decided the games to vote on probably should have figured that it would garner this kind of reaction. And it's a PR nightmare because you can get all kinds of dude bro chatters saying all kinds of fucking profanities at these innocent women. And it would not look good for the sponsor, and they wouldn't want to sponsor another event like this again. So it's like they're really setting up the women for failure. And it's like, I personally have no problems with, you know, women playing Overcooked. It's just the timing of it is very odd. You're playing a cooking game on International Women's Day on a platform where dude bros run rampant and will insult a woman any chance they get without proper moderation. It's like you're really throwing them to the wolves. And I've also seen some people from the guild proper kind of going in like, yeah, I didn't like it, but it was the best choice we got. And it's like, if it was voted on, it was voted on. I've also seen other women kind of speak out on this. It's like, yeah, this is you know, kind of a you know, a no-brainer that this was going to happen. Why do I always get Bowser? Oh no, it's Toad. Okay, never mind. I thought it was Bowser. So yeah, I've seen this one gal that got suspended in the Women's Guild Discord about speaking her thoughts about it. And her thoughts were essentially like, this is a bad idea. Like, this is a bad idea. And she got suspended in the Women's Guild Discord. And just kind of expressing her thoughts on it. And it's like, here's my thing with, and it's like, I have no problems with, like, you know, groups like this And I understand like the basis of what they're for, but you get like the wrong personalities all together and it feels super cliquey, especially a group of women trying to be super duper popular on stream women. You get them all together and it's like super catty. And it's like, wow, that's just not great. Not a good look for those women. It doesn't set women back, I don't think. But it kind of stops progress going forward. It's one of those like, it's like, oh, for women to move forward, you have to just not say shit like that. Well, for one, sometimes you have to embrace it. You know, again, if they leaned into the joke of playing Overcooked on International Women's Day, would have gone over so much better if they just leaned into the joke. But no, and a lot of the women are doubling down, and it's like, that's not a good look! Also, hello, Dotora. I'll give you the full spiel later. Dang it! Ah! Of course, every time I break my concentration, I lose. Hello, Deltora. Hello. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. You pointing at me? Like, yeah, I'm a woman. Yes. Now, anywho, with the whole going into like what Blue started ranting about earlier and everything about like, you know, whole feminism has gone to shit. Yes, I am a woman. Duh. I am a woman. But I don't want to be well known or successful just because I am a woman. I want to be well known and successful because of my hard work and my core personality, not just because I am a woman. And that's the lesson that I really want to teach my kids is, well, yes, you know, everyone's different, you know, we all have our own personalities, but again, I don't want to have my success just be written off as, oh, she's a woman. She can get what she wants because she's a woman. It's like, no. Or it's like, oh, female streamers, you know, just get a lot of male attention. It's like, some do, some don't, whatever. But like, I just want to be known for my hard work. And what my own personality is. You know? That's what I want, you know? Out of all this. Like a man-dominated game or it's an actual cooking game? Overcooked is a co-op cooking game. Up to 4 players on a team, and your goal is to try to get the most orders correctly. That is the goal of a 4-person team. It takes a lot of coordination, teamwork, communication. So like everyone's like kind of delegated to certain tasks and everything. And like it's a fun game to play, and it's not necessarily male or female dominated. It's just the look of like, oh, a cooking game. Women playing a cooking game. It's those optics that are like, it's not a good look. And again, if they leaned into the joke, yay, if they leaned into the joke, it would have gone over so much better. But the problem, and I see this with like a lot of women that I've seen on the internet. And I'm not saying all women on the internet. I'm saying a lot of women I have seen on the internet. They don't know how to lean into the joke. They double down and get super defensive. And the problem is, those women represent the rest of us. When you have those women as the figureheads to everyone, it's like, well, I'm not being represented properly. Dude, why are we doing this, man? So it's like, yeah, and it's like, you know, not all, you know, but yeah, it's like a lot of like the women that are like, you know, super high on the totem pole in terms of Twitch fame, don't really you know, they're super defensive in like their quote unquote feminism, you know? Generally commemorate you because you managed to stay strong in life while dealing with all the things you talked about on here before. You managed to pull through, and I'm proud of you. Yay! Thank you. I am strong. I mean, you have no idea how much I have been told that with all the shit I have gone through in my life. Like, I have dealt with a lot of death. I almost died myself. And I wish, and I really talk about my experiences in hopes that someone can relate and kind of, you know, take in the words I say and, you know, help people in a way inadvertently. Like, I talk about my bad experiences and to maybe help others pick up on patterns they may not have seen before. Like, you know, I talk about like my shitty friendships in the past, and maybe you can pick up the signs in like some other people you have seen to stay away from them, you know? It's like I've been through a lot. Like, I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I've made my fair share of mistakes in life. But I get up, I learn from my mistakes, and I continue pushing forward. Which is a good quality anyone could have. So, that's also Kerbo. Yeah, we're also Kerbo. And for 10,000 stars, you can change the layout to Oops, all Kerbo. Oops, all Kerbo. We did have regular Kerbessa at the beginning of stream yesterday, and then we did get the Kerbessa layout. Like, kind of towards the end, but hey, I'm never mad at the Kerbessa layout. I put a lot of effort into that. I put a lot of effort into it. But yeah, I want my efforts to be seen because I put in effort, not just because I'm a woman. You know? Costume change? Bam! We're Zeke! Zeke von Genbu. The Zekenator! I love this costume change. I'm so glad I remembered to add it into the pool because this was a Xenoblade 2 costume change and I kept forgetting. It's one of my favorites. Question 1, but to me, your story, someone who went through hell and back came out on top at a later day, and that's why I admire you most, because you have the resolve I wish I had. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's like, there's still a lot of things, a lot of areas in my life that I still have a lot of, like, you know, kind of growing to do. And sometimes it's like I feel like I am all talk with some things because like I need to learn, I need to take in the things I say sometimes. But sometimes it's one of those fake it till you make it. You talk about it so much you start believing it. Like, yeah, I've had many confidence issues throughout my life. It's a big old roller coaster. I go through spurts of self-doubt all the time. I even went through one recently, but it's one of those, you know, we're on the upswing, and I go through a lot of confidence issues. But you know what? We get in the groove, and we're good. Hopefully we stay on the upswing for a long time. Why does this happen to me? How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes. I have like, I think every chance time that is not controlled by me that I am involved in, I have given away a star. Okay, good, good. I thought he was gonna steal from me to really solidify that. But no, we're fine. But yeah, I've been through a lot in my life. Like, I am the youngest child in my family. So there's some, and a lot of people are like, oh, the baby of the family gets spoiled. They get so spoiled rotten, they're the parents' favorites. Not in my family dynamic. There was a golden child in my family, and it was not me, I can tell you that much. And, here's something I haven't said anything yet. I've had, like, a very rocky relationship with my mom. Like, overall, I'd say it was good. You know, like, I can talk to her about, like, a lot of things and just, like, chat about a lot of things. But there were some other things, like, looking back on, it's like, wow, how did I not pick up how crappy that was? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I haven't said this part yet, but I didn't realize this until maybe like a couple weeks ago. One of them like shower thought type things. I didn't realize back half of my high school life, I think my mom tried to make me the golden child, and it just wasn't working. Because she pushed and pushed and pushed for me to go to college and join a collegiate dance team. And I knew in my heart of hearts, like, when you think of dance team, you think of like the ballet, the contemporary, and everything. And like, that's not me. I am not ballet and contemporary. Like, I'm a good dancer, but I don't think I was ever like super collegiate level. So, my mom got me an audition for a community college in the state that went to nationals. And it's like, they were a good dance team, but like, that's not me. You know, that's not the kind of dancing that I want to do and I'm not good at. So I tanked the audition on purpose. Or like, I kind of half tried. I half tried to make it look decent, and I tanked it. And I think my mom may have picked up on that, because right afterward, I'm like, I wasn't super upset about not making it. And I think that was the signal for my mom's like, oh, maybe she didn't want to do this. And then she tried to find like this super, this is a, oh, I don't remember the name of the college. Was it like St. Austin? Stephen something? I don't remember what the name of the college was, but it was in a city called Nacogdoches, Texas. It was it's really far away from Kansas. Because that's kind of more southern Texas, I think. There was a college there that had a national ranked hip hop team. And I'm like, okay, that's a little bit more up my alley. But then like watching their routines, I'm like, I can't even do half of this shit. It's like, yeah, I like hip hop dancing. It's my favorite kind of dancing. They were always my favorite routines. But like half of the stunts and the shit they could do, like I could never. And it's like, do you even not realize my skill level? What do you just want a nationally ranked dancer because your golden child failed you. Your golden child failed you, and now you're trying to push that onto someone else, and it just doesn't work. Luckily, she got me an audition at a much closer community college dance team, and the coach was very chill. It was very much more akin to my style and my speed. And she got me in a tryout, and I passed. And that was the kind of domino effect that led me to my husband and 2 kids. So, yeah, that's like my family dynamics. Like, oh, baby, the family is always so spoiled. Not necessarily. I've been ignored half the time. I was even saying, my parents would go out on, like, trips and spend the night in, like, the middle of the week when I was in high school. So I'd be left by myself to fend for myself during the school year, so I was responsible for getting myself to and from school. It's like, yeah, I could drive, but... standard last 5 turns, procedures, all red and blue spaces, all are doubled. If you pass by Koopa Troopa, you get 20 coins instead of 10. So, yeah, I've also dealt with a lot of death in my life. Which, going back to astrology, I've tied it to, again, with, like, the outer planets, the generational planets. I usually tie, like, the major things to, like, what house it is in, rather than, like, the planet itself, because the planet in the sign itself is, more of, like, the generalization of the generations. Like Pluto in Scorpio. Scorpio, you know, very mysterious, very kind of vengeful in a way, or, you know, they kind of see the lot or whatever, you know, keep to themselves, mysterious. And Pluto is what rules Scorpio. The Pluto rules Scorpio, and Pluto is like, death, occult, you know, very, you know, it rules death. And my Pluto is in the 4th house. As much as Jupiter is also in my 4th house with, you know, luck, expansion, abundance, Pluto was also in my 4th house. And Pluto, and 4th house is like the house of family. And the planet of death was the house of family. So my mom's dad died before I was born. My mom's mom died when I turned 4, or like a few days before I turned 4. My dad's brother died when I was like 6. I think when I was 7. I think my dad's brother died when I was 7. It was a car wreck. He was a drunk. He was a drunk and a druggie. His neck was broken. He was still crawling, man. It was crazy. Anyway. But he died. I know my mom's had a couple siblings that have died. My mom's brother died in 2008. So I remember she had to go out of state to deal with a lot of stuff there. I know my mom has had other siblings that have died. My dad's dad, so my grandpa, the one I knew very well, passed away in March. I want to say March 1st. March 1st. I remember softball season was starting. March 1st in 2010. So my grandpa died 16 years ago. So my grandpa died 16 years ago, and then a year later, June of 2011, my grandma passed. So I've been without grandparents since 2011, which is always, it's so weird to me because, like, I'm so young, and I lost my grandparents when I was still in high school. And then I know I've had some aunts and uncles that have passed away, you know, older family relatives of my grandparents are passing away here and there. And then my mom died in 2016. So my mom died almost 10 years ago. That's insane to think about. And then in 2020, my dad died. So I have dealt with a lot of death in my life, which someone my age should not have to deal with. I do remember, I did make a little funny. I think last year, I was talking to Blue. It was like the day after Father's Day or like the day of Father's Day or something. And Blue was really upset about not messaging her dad because like they were kind of upset at her about it. It's like, damn, that I understand being upset, you know, when you just forget. And she's like, I didn't talk to my dad on Father's Day. And it's like, it's okay, Blue. I didn't either. I didn't talk to my dad on Father's Day either. And I think she told me she laughed pretty hard at that. So you will definitely hear some dark humor here and there. It's easier to joke about my mom being dead than my dad. I mean, granted, my dad died almost 6 years ago, so, you know, like, the more time goes on, the easier things get. Like, nothing ever fixes itself. You just get used to the new normal whenever, you know, deaths happen. Yeah. Yeah, you just get used to the new normal. So yeah, and also, like, I've been hearing my parents' family friends passing away too, and it's like, man, I grew up with these people. I think one of my parents' friends passed away last year, and he was the owner of the local bar that I grew up in. So, because here's the thing. When my parents had my sister and they brought her home from the hospital, they went home. Their friends at the bar were mad at them because they didn't bring the baby to the bar. So they learned their lesson with me. They didn't take me home. They went straight to the bar. I think my mom or dad told me that at some point. I'm like, you know what? That checks out. And it's like, this is a bar that we, you know, grew up in. They let us in because they knew our parents. They were friends. So it's like, yeah, I grew up in a bar. And then when Allie was real little, we took her, you know, let him meet the kid. Because it's like, oh my god, you had a baby? It's like, yeah, I did. And then Allie loved to run back behind the bar. She loved to run back behind the bar and, like, help the bartender. It was so funny. It was so cute. And anywhere we went, Allie would always try to walk behind places. And she'd be like, I work here now. It's always so funny with her. So, yeah. And I also remember when I went to a doctor's appointment, after finding out I was pregnant with Riley. It was one of the first ones. Because they always ask about, like, any family history or anything. And I remember mentioning that, both my parents had passed. And I was 25 at the time. I had, like, just turned 25. And I remember the nurse telling me, man, you are too young to lose both your parents. And it's like, I know I am. So, yeah, I really hope I don't... I mean, like, death is inevitable, right? It's one of the 3 guarantees in life. Death, taxes, and I will never be a rockette. Those are the 3 guarantees in life. Doesn't matter how good my kicks will be, I will never be a rockette. Even when they change their height requirements, I still cannot be a rockette. I am not tall enough. Anyway, I digress. It's like you can't escape death. Death is everywhere. It's just, you know, how you go about it. You can let it define you and worry constantly about it, or, you know, you can accept it. And, you know, because I worry about my husband's parents, specifically his dad, because his dad isn't really in, like, the best shape health-wise. Like, he has a pacemaker, he's had heart issues, he has a bum knee, and we both worry, and he's told me a lot that he kind of, you know, if he gets a phone call, sometimes there's the worry in the back of his mind. I'm like, I worry too, you know, and it's like, one bad fall from his dad, and, yeah, one bad fall, and then it's like, well, you know, so it's like, the worry is there a lot, especially, because his grandma is around too. Like, she's alive. She's the only great-grandparent my kids have. Which, I never had great-grandparents. And we call her Granny, because we have Grandma and Granny. Granny's the great-grandma. Granny loves my kids. Specifically Riley. She adores that child. That is her baby. But yeah, anytime I get, like, any kind of, like, phone call from that part of the family, my heart, like, I prepare myself a little bit for, like, the worst in a way, because, like, who died? No one died? Good. So it's like, you know, it's a constant worry. But, you know, it's like you can't avoid it. You know, and again, like, whenever, like, death happens, you know, time goes on. Like, time doesn't fix things. Like, time heals all wounds, sure, but, like, it doesn't fix things. It just gives you time, to adjust to the new normal. Like, it took a long time to adjust to not having my dad around. It took a lot of time to adjust to that, and it took a lot of time to adjust not having parents in general. Yay! So, yeah, because it's one of those, when my dad died, everything happened all at once. We needed to get to the house and get stuff cleaned up, and everything was kind of went through in like a week. Like, there was really like no time to like sit and take it in a way. There was really no time for that. So it didn't really sink in until like maybe a few days after kind of everyone went back home after coming to visit and helping out with stuff. So things take time. And when they say time heals all wounds, it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, it's gonna be over in a week. Oh, it's gonna be a couple months. Sometimes it's a couple months, sometimes it's a couple days, sometimes it's like several years to get used to the new normal. But, you know, you slowly adjust. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anywho, just talking about like my life experiences. Like maybe someone else has gone through similar things that I have, you know? And it's like a lot of times I see people around my age, they're just starting to lose their grandparents. And also, here's the thing. I am on the younger side of millennial, right? I'm a young millennial. And I have boomer parents. I have boomer parents. Or had boomer parents, I guess. Because my mom, on the 4th of July, that was her birthday. That's one of the reasons why 4th of July is my favorite holiday. Because we always did something special for it. We did something special for the day and then evening fireworks. Anyway, my mom turned 39. 39 on 4th of July. And then 2 weeks after the 4th of July, I was born. So, yeah, my parents were like in the 40s and 50s through the bulk of my childhood. So, 512 in minigames. Wario didn't get jack shit. He got all the money from me and Chance Time, and it was my fault. So, I still won though. I still won by 1 star. Or no, I won by 37 coins. Yeah, my one Chance Time was I biffed it. I biffed it into giving Wario my money. But yeah. I mean, we can do like a 10-turn minigame thingy. Minigame stadium. We can do that to kind of fill the time. So I'm sure Blue is not ready yet. Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, like I am a millennial that had boomer parents. And again, I mentioned my oldest brother was oh no, not that. My oldest brother was a senior in high school when I was in kindergarten. So, that kind of explains the age ranges there. And even, like, my parents are kind of older-ish, when they had my oldest brother, so... Sure. No handicap. All hard. We'll do 10. Shouldn't take that long. We'll just pad out the time a little bit. So, yeah, so it's like, a lot of kids my age in school, their parents were a lot younger than mine were. Their parents were a lot younger than mine were. So, oh, excuse me. So, of course I, lost my grandparents before everyone else did. Because, like, I got a little bit, like, jealous in a way that, a lot of kids in my grade at graduation, had their grandparents there to see it. Because, both my brothers got grandma and grandpa there, I'm pretty sure. They were around. And then my sister, grandpa had passed away by then, but grandma was still around. She died like a month later, but grandma was around. So she got to have a grandparent, but I had nothing. Again, being the youngest isn't all sunshine and roses. Because the perspective that I have lived is you get to see all your siblings grow up and leave you, and start their own families and leave you behind. And then, you know, being the youngest, like, oh, the baby of the family gets so spoiled. And it's like, no, not. What the fuck? I got cock blocked. Anywho, yeah, so it's like a lot of, like, because I still have some friends on Facebook from, like, high school and everything, and I'm seeing, you know, a lot of, like, I have, like, my hometown newspaper. I like that page on Facebook, so it's like, I still get, like, news, and a lot of it is, like, when certain people pass away, like, obituaries and stuff, and then I see, who all has passed away, and it's like, oh, it's so-and-so's grandpa, or it's so-and-so's grandma, and it's like, kids my age are losing their grandparents, and I have lost both of my parents before they lost a single grandparent. That really puts it into perspective how much death I have dealt with in life. And it's not a competition, it's just my life compared to theirs, and it's not a contest or anything, it's just, you know, life. But I've also seen, like, I have been through a lot of grief, you know, again, I've been through a lot of death in my life. I've been through a lot of grief. I am not, just because I've been through it a lot doesn't mean I'm desensitized to it. I'm definitely not desensitized to death. But I've also seen people, like, weep and weep and weep about losing their grandparents. Like the, you know, I still kind of keep in touch with this friend because I still have her on Facebook and everything. The one that made the comment about her house being on lockdown when my dad died. Like, she had lost a grandparent in, like, the last couple years, I think. And, like, everything, well, this is also the friend that makes everything a big deal. So it's like everything was a big deal. And it's like, I understand, like, losing a grandparent you're close to, you know. But also it's like, it just shows the gap in our lives. Just because of our upbringing, in a way, you know? Your internet went out! Why are you saying your internet died as we're talking about death? Again, death, one of the 3 guarantees in life. Death, taxes, and I will never be a rocket. Yep. Anytime I always say, like, oh, there's 3 guarantees in life. Those are the 3 guarantees. Up. Up. And boom. We did it. Yeah, we're doing some the minigame stadium to kind of pad the time. Because I'm like, it was right at 3 when the board ended and I won. I was like, well, I need to pad out some time. I also love the song. Bum bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum do 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 do. So yeah. There's a lot of death in my life. TLDR. Cliff notes. My family died. I laugh now, but I'm sure some people are looking at me like, what do you, like, what? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, I mean, I've dealt with a lot of death. This needs you a smidge. That looks right. Yeah, that looks right. Let my hands be done with that. Da bloop. Classic cover the center. 96! Well, I think I may have squished in the the mouth too much. Maybe. I don't know. It's fine. I still won. I still won, bitches! Anywho. Eh. Dun, 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 dun. You know, I wasn't expecting to talk about so much, like, quote-unquote heavy things. Because, I mean, a lot has happened this week, too, you know? I say this week. I'm the director! Bum, 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 bum. Do. Like a real conductor, because that's how you conduct a 4/4 time. How to conduct a 3/4 time is do. I think it's that. Or that is 3/4 time. I think. I've been in band before. I've been in band and choir before. I did a lot in 3/4 time. Bum, 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. Do. Oh, we didn't all do it. It would have played the better jingle if Mario got it. Come on, drummer! My throat! I think something caught my throat. This is gonna say, come on, drummer boy! Play the drums! Drummer boy! Dun 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 dun. Oh my goodness, my brain is just non-cooperative right now. I still can't believe Twitch tried to gaslight me about my VOD on Tuesday. I can't believe that. I went like 12 hours thinking, oh my god, my game audio was desynced the entirety of the stream, because I went back and clipped a funny moment from Tuesday. And my VOD is so messed up, but like, I checked literally every other source. The clip was fine. The clip itself was fine. And then I checked the VOD on YouTube, and it was fine, but it's only the VOD played back on Twitch that makes it super desync, so I was jumping around a lot. But also, it's like, it was really stupid. Black. Yeah, come on, Twitch. Trying to gaslight me. Go away. Nice! Oh, he still made it. Dang it. I squished Mario, but he still lives. Green! Hey, Bam, we did it. We're getting the money. Here comes the money! Here comes the money! Money, 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 money! Thinking about like wrestling. We're in, you know, the road to WrestleMania, and it really doesn't feel like the road to WrestleMania. Like, I can see some of these stories starting to build, but also on the back end, WWE has had a problem with ticket prices for a long time. I even looked up WrestleMania tickets for like on Saturday. The cheapest ticket I could find is like $213 for one ticket. That is the cheapest ticket I can find. And WWE is doing literally everything but lowering ticket prices. And it's like they've complained about like, oh, we're not getting as much sales as we did in the past. Our projected sales numbers are low. Well, one thing that can fix that is lowering the damn price. But no. They're doing literally everything. They're trying to, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Rhea is even having a title match with Jade at Mania. Is because Rhea is a draw. Rhea is a draw. Oh, because I'd seen someone theorize, oh, it probably was supposed to be Tiffany, but they need ticket sales, so Rhea. Which, I mean, I'm not mad at watching Rhea Ripley wrestle at WrestleMania. I love Rhea Ripley. Like, I was in one of the streams, like the VODs I was watching of like this group of friends playing Jackbox. They got to talking about Rhea Ripley, and one of the guys said, I would let Rhea Ripley could powerbomb me through a wall and I would thank her. And I immediately said, same. Like, okay. I know I talked the other day about, like, you know, the whole stereotyping, and I don't like being called anything other than, like, a sexuality, but, like, there are I am a straight female, but there are two women that, like, if given the okay, I'd be like, yes, would. Moonbyul of Mamamoo and Rhea Ripley. Like, again, Rhea Ripley could, powerbomb me through the wall, and I would say thank you. There are two women, yes. Count them, two women. Yeah, Moonbyul of Mamamoo and Rhea Ripley. Like, just look up Rhea Ripley. And you will know. Tessa and Blue. I mean, yes, the dichotomy of women, Tessa and Blue. There are two kinds of people in the world. Tessa and Blue. There are two kinds of people in the world. Those who solve the puzzles the intended way, and those who ramp. That's like the same person. We are the same, but also different. Yep, two kinds of people. Those who solve the puzzles the intended way, and those who ramp. Ramp hype! Am I not a woman? Are you women? I love women. Women are awesome. I love women in the sense that, like, women are cool because I am a woman, so I am cool. But also it's like, again, I want my success to be because I am successful, not because I am a woman. Women are cool because they don't let being a woman define who they are. There we go. There's my speech. That's real feminism right there. Like, I want my success to be seen, not, you know, it's like, oh, hey, she's a woman. You know, it's like, hey, that's Tessa. Not, hey, that's a woman. You know, I want to be awesome, an awesome person that just happens to be a woman. You know? Those are my favorite characters. It's like, that's one thing that media has gotten wrong over the last few years, is like the badass woman, you know? Like, that's how we get a bunch of Mary Sues. It's like, we just want a good character with, like, you know, realistic flaws that they overcome, you know? So, yeah. Ate some good food? Nice. What'd you eat? My Midwestern came out. Did you eat? What'd you eat? And it's like, Kansas generally doesn't have like a heavy accent. I know to like someone who, you know, like say someone from like the Appalachian Mountains, from Appalachia, would probably think that I have a very thick accent. And it's like, you know, it's, ooh, nice, nice. You know, someone like from like the deep south or like Appalachia would probably think I have a very heavy accent. Whereas I think they have a heavy accent. But like there are times where like the Midwestern comes out, and Kansas has a very good mix of Midwestern and South. We have both ope and y'all. We have both ope and y'all. Hey y'all, did you eat something? You are a winner. Thank you, game. I am a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Continue. I am the real winner. That's pasta? I'm good. Use guys? Use guys? Tess is whipping out the Midwestern again. Oh, let me just squeeze by you there. Sorry, gotta get my bag out of the way. At least I don't say, like, you know, like, bagel is a good word to indicate where you're from. Like, bag, bagel. Like, I say bag, but, like, most, like, kind of a little bit northern Midwestern will say bag. Oh, don't you know, gotta get that bag right there. You! They boggle? You boggle your mind. I'm gonna be like, Johnny, yes, but why? But why? But why? It's one of my favorite stickers in like Superstar and Jamboree. But why? But why? Oh. I mean, if I do an accent, my default is kind of in the realm of Russian. Until we get the Russian Gorons. Every Goron you meet is a Russian. Duh. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. But sometimes I can bust out the Southern. Alright, sugar, how you doing today? What can I get you to order? Can I get you a Coke? I can't do like the super up northern, almost Canadian. I can't do that. I can't do that. The best I got is say big. And let me squeeze by you there. That's the best I got. That's the best I got. Or it's like, surfer dude, what's up, bruh? Like California, the California accent, like everything's a question. Like, yeah, totally. Like, totally. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I can go for a spot of coffee. Yeah. You know, it's just you gotta kind of enter that fry, that vocal fry in a way. But like one accent that boggles my mind is whenever you get into like deep into like Louisiana. Oh shit, what's it called? I don't remember what it's called, but like deep in Louisiana, like the Cajun. Oh, I've heard clips of people talking. It's like I cannot understand. It's insane. So I'll be like Johnny. Be me. I say Swiss rolls and soda Coke Pop. No. No. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much. Welcome in. If you would like to chat, you are free to. If not, lurk away. No worries. Ain't that where they speak French? Yeah. Hyunji did an air fryer. Oh my god! Not the air fryer. Hello. Hello, Serpent Siren. Hello. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. I love that though. I love that Evo. That's so good. That's so good. And sing Kumbaya? I think so. Because, yeah, Cajun, like, Louisiana is very, like, French. But, like, it's that. I mean, off the bat, can I do... I was thinking about accents. Can I do Aussie? Aussie! Oi! Get water. Water's a good word to enter the Australian accent. Yeah. Don't worry, you got surfing on the water there. Got pineapple in my burger. pineapple in my burger. Like, what's the problem with pineapple in your burger, mate? Come on, Bang-chan. What's wrong with pineapple? He's so angry. I know. Get to the chopper. Get down. Get down again. Drinks pineapple juice all the time. I know. Like, what's the deal, man? Come on, Bang-chan. I think I have several clips of me just referencing Case 143 because anytime I see the numbers 143, I'm like, oh, instantly bust into song. And there's one clip where I was playing Mario Party 3, I think, and I was trying to channel the power of Bang-chan, and I couldn't roll high enough. Or like I had like a 10, and it was like an 8. I'm like, dang it, Bang-chan, you disappoint me. But not really. Alright, we have reached the end of stream. I am going to go raid Miss Royal Blue, cause, even if you just got here with me, if only my laptop allowed it, but my laptop doesn't allow it, but, we're going to go raid Royal Blue because I will be playing Human Fall Flat with her this evening. So, yeah, we're gonna go play Human Fall Flat, and that's why I say there's two kinds of people in the world. Those who solve the puzzle by the way it's intended, and those who ramp. So we're gonna go play Human Fall Flat with Blue this evening on her stream, so we're gonna go raid into her. And the rest of the week tomorrow, Pokemon, I did a couple of things off stream. I made a bunch of donuts. I did a couple of hyperspace research. I don't have a full thing yet, but I did a little bit of hyperspace, caught some new Pokemon. I organized my boxes a little bit. So I did a little bit of that. I think I got a challenger ticket. I think I did that off stream. So we'll kind of jump into some stuff tomorrow and then come back around Monday to Final Fantasy 16 and Tuesday, Thursday, Mario Party. So, yeah, what should our raid message be? What should our raid message be? I don't know. How about this? Your best accent, please. Your best accent, please, because we just went into accents. And also, that'll get Blue to do an accent. We need to hear this, because I did a bunch. She can do a bunch. Best accent, please. If you are subbed to me, you can use my emotes. If you are not subbed to me, you can use whatever emotes you want. I am not picky about that. So yeah, let's get this raid going, and then we'll do... Rail. No, we're not gonna rail Blue. We're gonna raid Blue. I am Royal Blue. Bloop. Haha, bloop. Alright, so that'll be it for today. Mondays are Final Fantasy 16. Tuesdays and Thursdays are some kind of Mario Party. And Wednesdays and Fridays are Pokemon Legends EA. So thank you everyone for coming out and hanging out. And we will see you next time. Don't worry about it, Del Toro. Everything's fine.